Have you ever been told that at a certain age, it's simply normal for blood sugar to fluctuate and there isn't much you can do about it? Many people in their 60s, 70s, and even 80s have quietly accepted this, chalking it up to just getting older. But the truth is, maintaining more stable blood sugar can significantly boost energy levels, help us stay sharp, and even improve our day-to-day independence, no matter our age. Imagine waking up without that sluggish feeling, or enjoying a meal without the worry of a sudden energy crash or dizzy spell. These are not impossible ideals reserved for people decades younger. With the right guidance, gentle adjustments to how we eat can support our bodies in ways that feel empowering rather than restrictive. Sometimes the messages we've heard from well-meaning friends, caregivers, or even outdated sources have led us to think we're too old to benefit from dietary changes. Yet there's a growing understanding that seniors' bodies thrive when given the best possible fuel, foods and habits that work with, rather than against, the natural aging process. This matters because our golden years shouldn't be defined by limitations or constant worries about our health. Instead, they can be a time to savor life's simple pleasures, which definitely include good meals and shared moments around the dining table. Over the next few minutes, we'll explore 8 gentle eating habits that many seniors have found to be transformational in maintaining healthier blood sugar levels, even into their 80s and beyond. These points aren't about doing anything drastic or feeling deprived. They're designed to align with the realities of senior life, where medication schedules, changing tastes, and varying mobility all come into play. My aim is to share insights gleaned from current research and the experiences of seniors who've discovered there is a better way. Together, we'll challenge some common assumptions, uncover misconceptions, and provide easy, doable steps to incorporate changes that can make a real difference. We'll also discuss the emotional benefits, like feeling more in control and confident about our future. I've spent years coaching older adults to adapt lifestyle habits in ways that make them feel strong and capable, focusing on small, meaningful steps rather than quick fixes. While I'm not a medical professional, I've seen these approaches work for countless people who once believed they had run out of options. Now, they're enjoying steady energy throughout the day and experiencing fewer dramatic dips and spikes. If you've ever felt that blood sugar concerns were stopping you from feeling your best, stick around. By the end of this video, you'll have a new sense of what's possible for your body. Before we dive in, I'd love to hear from you. Have you noticed your energy levels and sugar cravings shifting as you've gotten older? Feel free to share your experiences as we go along. It's helpful to know that we're not alone in facing these challenges. We're in this together, learning and improving step by step. Now let's explore the first of these gentle habits and start redefining what healthy living after 65 can truly look like. Let's begin by looking at an assumption that often holds many seniors back. A lot of people believe that snacking between meals automatically leads to weight gain or unstable blood sugar. There's a widespread fear that once we pass 65, snacks must be eliminated or at least severely restricted. But here's the misconception. It's not the act of snacking itself that's the real culprit. It's the type of snack and how it fits into the overall day. Take Lorraine, 78, who used to believe she should only eat 3 square meals. She'd finish dinner at 6 p.m., then fast until breakfast, often a full 12 to 14 hours without nutrition. By the time she woke up, she felt weak, lightheaded, and sometimes her blood sugar was all over the place. Her doctor suggested just a little something before bedtime, like a few bites of low-sugar Greek yogurt with a couple of berries. This small shift offered her a gentle release of nutrients throughout the night and helped keep her blood sugar more balanced when she woke up. What the evidence shows is that evenly spaced snacks that combine protein and a small amount of carbohydrate can help maintain stable blood sugar throughout the day. The steady drip of fuel wards off the sudden drops that lead to cravings and energy crashes. The practical step for seniors is to plan ahead. Keep a few easy, nutrient-dense snacks ready. Think of a small handful of walnuts or almonds, a bit of cottage cheese with cucumber slices, or half of a whole grain cracker with a smear of peanut butter. By pairing a protein source with a small carb portion, you smooth out the rise in blood sugar so it doesn't spike and drop too quickly. Physically, you'll likely notice a more consistent energy flow. That afternoon slump may become less daunting, and you might not feel so ravenous at dinner time that you overeat. Emotionally, embracing smart snacking can feel liberating. Rather than seeing snacks as a guilty pleasure or something to fear, you begin to view them as strategic mini-meals that keep you going. Of course, you want to remain mindful of overall portion sizes and choose lower sugar options. But seniors often benefit from these small, balanced pick-me-ups more than they initially expect. If you've ever told yourself, "I can't snack because I'll ruin my diet," or "snacking is for younger people," consider this new perspective. Give it a try with a small snack in the mid-afternoon or before bed, paying attention to how you feel the next morning or during your usual slump. Adjust the timing and portion until you hit a sweet spot. Over time, you may find that consistent, balanced snacking becomes a go-to trick for steady blood sugar. Let's move on to another habit that challenges the old food pyramid mentality many of us grew up with. Many seniors assume that the best way to manage blood sugar is to load up on carbs early in the day for energy, then cut down later. But often the misconception is in the type of carbs and how they're paired with other nutrients. Picture Arthur, 81, who faithfully had a stack of pancakes or a big bowl of oatmeal first thing every morning for years. He thought fueling up with lots of carbs right away would give him the energy he needed. Yet by mid-morning, he felt tired and craved something sweet. When he looked at the pattern, he realized his breakfast was mostly carbs without enough protein or healthy fats. This caused a quick blood sugar spike and then a crash. Recent findings suggest that for older adults, balancing macronutrients at breakfast is crucial. We're talking about protein, fats, and yes, some carbohydrates, but ideally the complex kind with fiber. Consider a breakfast that includes eggs or egg whites, or a plant-based protein if you prefer, some sautéed vegetables, or a side of berries, and maybe a small portion of whole grain bread. This combination releases energy more gradually, helping you avoid a sudden spike. It also supports muscle health, which is particularly important as we age. The practical step is to shift your mindset from carb loading to balancing. Instead of a huge bowl of cereal or toast, experiment with half your usual carb portion and replace that other half with a protein source or healthy fats like avocado. For instance, if you normally eat 2 slices of toast, try 1 slice plus a scrambled egg and a side of spinach. Or add a spoonful of peanut butter instead of jam to that single slice of toast. The point isn't to cut carbs entirely, carbohydrates are still important, but to pair them with protein and fats so your blood sugar stays on an even keel. The benefit goes beyond the numbers you see on a blood sugar reading. Balanced breakfast habits often lead to improved mood and focus throughout the day. Emotionally, knowing you've started your morning on the right foot sets a positive tone. Arthur used to feel guilty for needing a mid-morning snack. After he changed his breakfast routine, he found he was more satisfied and didn't experience that crash. He discovered a steadier energy that motivated him to stay active. How about you? Have you ever noticed that certain breakfast foods leave you tired while others keep you energized? It might be worth experimenting with a balanced approach to see the difference it makes by lunchtime. Next, let's challenge another assumption that can undermine our best efforts to stabilize blood sugar. It's common to hear that fruit is nature's candy, implying it's brimming with sugar and should be avoided, especially if you're watching your blood sugar. However, the misconception here is thinking all sugar is created equal. There's a world of difference between the naturally occurring sugars in fruits, accompanied by fiber, vitamins, and antioxidants, and the refined sugars found in pastries, candies, or sugary drinks. Let's look at Gloria, 73, who started drastically limiting her fruit intake after hearing she should cut down on sugar. She missed her morning apple ritual and felt deprived. Yet her overall energy and digestive health took a hit. Her nutritionist suggested she reintroduce whole fruits like apples, pears, and berries in moderation. Within a couple of weeks, Gloria noticed more regular digestion. Plus, her sweet cravings in the afternoon diminished because the natural sweetness from fruit felt more satisfying than the refined sugary snacks she was trying to avoid. The truth is that whole fruits, especially those high in fiber, like berries, apples with the skin on, and pears, have a slower impact on blood sugar compared to fruit juices or processed sweets. Fiber acts like a buffer, slowing the absorption of sugars into the bloodstream. This gentle release is beneficial for preventing spikes. Seniors can benefit from 2 to 3 servings of fruit a day, focusing on low glycemic options. If you're concerned about your blood sugar levels, consider pairing fruit with a source of protein or healthy fat. For instance, an apple with a bit of cheese or a handful of almonds. This again supports a more gradual rise in blood sugar. Emotionally, giving yourself permission to enjoy fruit can be freeing. It's a positive way to indulge your sweet tooth without feeling guilty, and you'll gain nutrients that benefit your body in countless ways, from skin health to immune function. If you've been avoiding fruit entirely due to fear of sugar, it might be time to ease that restriction. Listen to your body's signals and keep track of how you feel. You may discover that a piece of fruit with breakfast or as a snack is far kinder on your blood sugar levels and your peace of mind than a refined sweet treat. By the way, I'd love to know, which fruits do you enjoy the most, and how have you felt when you include them in your diet? Feel free to share in the comments or just reflect on it personally. Now let's move to another misconception that prevents many seniors from optimal blood sugar management. A lot of us grew up with the idea that water is something you drink only when you're thirsty, and that other beverages, like coffee, tea, and juice, can easily take its place. But the misconception is that thirst is always a reliable indicator, and that any liquid is just as good as water. In reality, our sense of thirst can diminish with age, which leads many older adults to drink less water than they actually need. On top of that, certain beverages can contribute extra sugars, caffeine, or other compounds that impact blood sugar or hydration in ways we don't want. Consider Harold, 76, who was constantly battling fatigue in the afternoons. He had 2 cups of coffee in the morning and maybe a glass of juice at lunch, but rarely drank plain water. He assumed he was fine because he rarely felt thirsty. His doctor pointed out that mild dehydration can cause fatigue and even affect how well the body regulates blood sugar. Harold began the simple habit of sipping water throughout the day, keeping a pitcher near his recliner and drinking a half glass on the hour, even if he didn't feel parched. Within a week, his energy levels improved and his blood sugar readings became less erratic. Staying adequately hydrated supports kidney function, helps regulate body temperature, and facilitates countless metabolic processes, including glucose regulation. When we don't have enough water in our system, the concentration of glucose in the bloodstream can rise, sometimes leading to higher readings and a higher chance of sugar spikes. The practical step is to make water appealing and convenient. Add a slice of lemon, lime, or cucumber for flavor. Keep water accessible, maybe a reusable bottle by your favorite chair, a small cup in the bathroom, or a pitcher on the dining table. If you do enjoy tea, consider herbal or decaffeinated versions without added sugar or sweeteners. Emotionally, feeling hydrated can bring mental clarity and a sense of vitality. It might also reduce sugar cravings since sometimes thirst masquerades as hunger. By regularly drinking water, you're treating your body with respect, recognizing that it needs consistent care. If you find it tough to remember to drink water, try setting a gentle alarm or linking water intake to daily routines, like taking medication or sitting down to watch the evening news. You don't have to chug large amounts at once. Small, frequent sips can be more comfortable and effective. Once you start making hydration a priority, it's likely you'll notice positive ripple effects in how you feel overall. Before we continue, take a moment to check in with yourself. When was the last time you had a glass of water today? If it's been a while, maybe take a quick sip. Let's keep going as we challenge another belief that has shaped the way many seniors eat and drink for decades. Some people believe that all forms of dietary fat are bad, especially for older adults concerned about heart health or weight management. The misconception is that if you eat fat, you'll get fat, and that cutting fat automatically improves overall health. While certain fats, such as saturated and trans fats, can be detrimental in excess, there are also healthy fats that support stable blood sugar, heart function, and overall vitality. Meet Paula, 77, who had been on a strict low-fat diet since her 50s. She constantly felt hungry and often compensated by eating more carbohydrates. Over time, her blood sugar became less stable, and she noticed frequent peaks and troughs in her energy levels. After consulting with a dietitian, Paula introduced more healthy fats like avocados, nuts, seeds, and olive oil into her meals. She also began choosing fatty fish like salmon a couple of times a week. The result? She felt more satisfied after meals and her blood sugar readings began to show more consistency, with fewer dramatic highs and lows. Why does this work? Healthy fats slow down the absorption of carbohydrates, preventing sharp spikes in blood sugar. They also contribute to long-lasting fullness, which can curb cravings for sugary snacks. Many older adults find that a small drizzle of olive oil over vegetables or a serving of walnuts in a salad helps keep them satisfied for hours, reducing the likelihood of reaching for less nutritious options. In addition, these fats contain nutrients that benefit brain health, a bonus for memory and cognitive function as we age. If you've been skimping on all fats, consider adding a moderate amount of healthy fats to your meals. For instance, stir a teaspoon of olive oil into your soup, or try a small portion of almond butter with your breakfast oatmeal. The point is to use fat judiciously to enhance both flavor and health benefits. Physically, you'll likely feel more balanced energy and improved glucose control. Emotionally, there can be a sense of relief in reclaiming the enjoyment of food. Fat can bring out the flavors in vegetables and proteins, making meals more satisfying. Let yourself explore the variety of healthy fats available. As always, keep portions moderate, because fats are calorie-dense. But remember, it's about the quality of the fat, not just the quantity. Give your body the nourishment it needs to function optimally. Now that we've addressed the role of healthy fats, let's shift gears to another habit that's often overlooked in discussions about stabilizing blood sugar. A lot of us hold the assumption that meal timing is only for highly disciplined athletes or people with very strict routines. The misconception is that as long as you eat roughly the same amount of food each day, it doesn't matter when you eat it. But especially for seniors, having regular meal times can significantly help with blood sugar stability because our bodies respond to rhythms. Consider Mark, 72, who used to eat breakfast at 8 a.m. some days, 10 a.m. on others, or skip it entirely if he woke up late. Lunch was sometimes at noon, other times at 2 p.m., and some days he'd realize he had missed lunch altogether once it was 3 in the afternoon. His blood sugar readings zigzagged. Mark's doctor suggested a more regular schedule: breakfast around the same time, lunch 4 to 5 hours later, and an earlier dinner. Within a few weeks, Mark noticed he had more consistent energy and fewer episodes of feeling shaky or lightheaded. Establishing consistent mealtimes helps your body anticipate fuel and regulate insulin production more efficiently. For older adults who might also be managing multiple medications, consistent mealtimes can help prevent conflicts between eating and medication schedules. If your prescription indicates taking a pill with a meal, knowing exactly when you'll be eating is vital for steady management. Practically, you can start by picking a realistic breakfast time and sticking to it. Keep a 4 to 5 hour gap for lunch and aim for dinner about 5 hours after lunch. If you're a bit hungry between meals, that's where those balanced snacks can come in. The key is finding a rhythm your body can rely on rather than a rigid, to-the-minute schedule. On an emotional level, predictable mealtimes can reduce anxiety about what and when to eat next. It frees up mental energy and helps you plan ahead, which is particularly beneficial if you're juggling doctor's appointments or social engagements. This sense of routine can also help you feel more in control of your health choices. Instead of reacting to hunger or fatigue at random times, you take proactive steps to nourish yourself consistently. Do you already follow a certain meal schedule, or do you tend to eat whenever the day allows it? You might experiment with slight adjustments to see if it makes a noticeable difference in how you feel. Ready for the next gentle habit? Let's keep going. Many seniors think that meal preparation is an all-or-nothing affair. Either you cook elaborate meals from scratch, or you resort to convenience foods that might not be the healthiest. The misconception is that healthy cooking is too time-consuming or requires advanced culinary skills. But there are a wealth of shortcuts and simple methods to prepare balanced, blood sugar-friendly meals. Meet Doris, 80, who lives alone and used to rely on frozen dinners. She believed cooking whole foods was too much work, especially if she was just cooking for herself. After attending a free community cooking class geared towards seniors, she learned basic meal prep strategies. She now spends about an hour twice a week batch cooking simple proteins like chicken breasts or beans, roasting some vegetables, and washing fresh salad greens. By storing them in containers, Doris can assemble quick meals, like a chicken and vegetable bowl with brown rice or a mixed green salad with beans and a vinaigrette, throughout the week. She's discovered this approach saves her money, gives her more control over ingredients, and significantly stabilizes her blood sugar because she's eating real food rather than processed convenience meals. Having healthy, partially prepared ingredients at the ready helps you avoid spur-of-the-moment choices that might spike blood sugar, such as grabbing a bag of chips or a high-sodium frozen entree. A simple homemade soup can be prepped on a Sunday and enjoyed over a couple of days for lunch. This strategy also makes portion control easier, since you decide how much to serve yourself at one time. The physical benefits of more whole foods and fewer additives can be profound, from improved digestion to more sustained energy. Emotionally, it can be empowering to realize that cooking doesn't have to be a chore. Small tasks like chopping vegetables or marinating meat can even become relaxing rituals. And for many seniors, preparing food represents independence and the chance to care for oneself with creativity and pride. If cooking feels overwhelming, start with 1 or 2 easy recipes or meal prep tasks. Gradually build your repertoire, possibly enlisting a friend or family member to help. You might be surprised at how satisfying it is to quickly assemble a nutritious meal when you have the basics ready to go. That's one of the easiest ways to avoid the blood sugar roller coaster. Before we get to our final habit, take a brief moment to reflect. Is there one cooking hack you've been curious to try? Maybe it's batch cooking brown rice or pre-washing salad greens. Give yourself permission to explore these time savers. Let's move on to the 8th and final habit that can keep blood sugar levels steady well into your golden years. Many older adults assume that it's too late to experiment with their diet, or that any new approach will be overly restrictive and joyless. The misconception is believing that changing your diet means giving up the foods you love. But a balanced blood sugar-friendly diet doesn't have to be boring or bland. It can still include your favorite flavors and occasional treats, especially when approached with mindfulness and portion control. Consider Roger, 84, who loved his desserts, especially homemade pies. He thought that if he acknowledged he had blood sugar concerns, he'd never be able to enjoy a slice of pie again. That fear paralyzed him, so he put off making any dietary changes until he experienced a frightening blood sugar spike. With guidance, he learned it was possible to plan for a small slice of pie occasionally, paired with a protein-rich meal and followed by a short walk. He even experimented with using lower sugar recipes, fresh fruit toppings, and spices like cinnamon to enhance flavor. Roger discovered he could satisfy his sweet tooth without derailing his entire day. Many experts suggest focusing on the 80-20 rule. Eat highly nutritious, blood sugar-friendly meals about 80% of the time, and allow yourself a small indulgence about 20% of the time. This mindful approach ensures you're not feeling deprived, which can lead to binging or a sense of failure. Physically, you'll notice the difference between carefully planned treats and unplanned sugary binges. Emotionally, the knowledge that you're allowed to enjoy favorite foods in moderation can bring relief and reduce stress around mealtimes. If you've been hesitant to make changes because you're worried about giving up pleasures, think of a small step you could take to adjust a favorite recipe or plan indulgences with balance in mind. Maybe you experiment with sweetening your dessert with stevia or monk fruit sweetener, or you reduce the sugar in your baked goods by a quarter. Maybe you cap your dessert at 1 slice and truly savor every bite. The key is shifting from a mindset of all or nothing to thoughtful enjoyment. Now that we've covered 8 gentle, realistic eating habits, let's gather everything we've discussed and consider how you can seamlessly weave these habits into your daily life. We've explored the power of balanced snacking, the importance of a protein-rich breakfast, the truth about fruits and natural sugars, the underestimated role of hydration, the benefits of healthy fats, the value of consistent meal times, the simplicity of basic meal prep, and the freedom that comes from knowing you can still enjoy your favorite foods in moderation. Each of these points is like a puzzle piece that, when put together, supports more stable blood sugar. And stable blood sugar translates to having more energy to do the things you love, whether that's playing with grandchildren, pursuing hobbies, or simply waking up feeling good in the morning. There's an urgency here, but not the kind that should make you anxious. Think of it more as an opportunity. Every day that passes without attending to these gentle habits is another day you might be missing out on better energy, clearer thinking, and a brighter mood. It's common to assume, I've lived this way for decades, what's one more day? But know that each small choice you make today can build toward a better tomorrow. The good news is none of these adjustments require a massive overhaul. They're incremental shifts in your daily routine. Take a moment to imagine how your life might look in a month if you pick even 3 of these habits to focus on. Perhaps you'll decide to add a protein source to your breakfast, commit to sipping water regularly, and work on consistent meal times. Over time, as you see the positive effects, less fatigue, fewer cravings, maybe even improved mood, you can integrate a 4th or 5th habit. By going step by step, you allow these changes to fit into your life naturally rather than feeling forced. If you're ready to take action, here are a few ways to start. 1. Pick one habit to try for the next week, just one. Perhaps it's adding a small balanced snack mid-morning or mid-afternoon. 2. If you feel comfortable, share your commitment with a friend or family member. Accountability can make a huge difference. 3. Reflect on your progress at the end of the week. Did you notice any difference in your energy, mood, or blood sugar readings? If it felt beneficial, keep going. If not, adjust and try another habit. 4. Consider learning more, whether it's from a qualified dietitian, an online cooking class designed for seniors, or simply asking your healthcare provider for feedback on your meal plan. Being informed helps you make choices that are right for you. Remember, you're not just a passenger in this journey. You have wisdom gained from decades of life experience. You know your body better than anyone else, and these habits are merely tools to help you thrive. Whether you choose one habit or all 8, the act of choosing is itself empowering. I invite you to continue exploring, to keep asking questions, and to stay curious about what your body can do when given the right support. The best time to start is always now, no matter your age or health background. Thanks for joining me on this walk through the gentle ways we can nurture healthier blood sugar levels. If you found these tips helpful, feel free to share this video with a friend or relative who might also benefit. Let's keep building a vibrant community of seniors who believe in their capacity to grow stronger, one small step at a time. You deserve the vitality and joy that come from treating your body with care. Here's to a future filled with steady energy, delicious meals, and the knowledge that you're absolutely capable of making meaningful changes. You have the power to enjoy life on your own terms, starting today.